What's up, good people? Thanks for clicking. Much love from this side, straight out of Africa, with good vibes and positive energy. Let's dive in. Crazy videos, leave your comments, and watch till the end. Much love. Yo, what's happening here, man? Oh. It's like something is happening in the sky and there's an illustration of what might be happening here. Huh. And this is quite a fascinating theory or interesting if you think about it. You know how these things might be real or this guy's theory. What do you think about it? Huh. It's quite interesting if you think about it. Oh. Man, what's now happening here? Oh my god. No, this is a UFO. A UFO or what? What's that thing that is floating there in the sky? Oh my god. Oh no. Wow. Shit. What's happening, man? Wow. Look at this guy. And who is recording? Where was the camera put? Oh, let's see this video. Sometimes when you look at them closely and you wonder, this person that's recording is even zooming the camera. Is this real or scripted or a movie? Was it intentional for us to see this UFO? That's why it was zoomed in, or what's happening? Is this a real footage? Share your thoughts of what you think about it, man. This is very creepy. If it is real, wow. Oh, yo. What's this? A big drone that's being controlled by someone somewhere in a space? Or not even somewhere, just controlling a big drone. Oh, what is this thing? And this guy is completely seem to be not affected or seeing it. You see, they see him and pull that or they cannot see it, but you see it is behind them. And I think those guys, why they look like those government guys, the way the suits, these things, spectacles. Oh, share your thoughts about it, man. This is crazy. No, look at this. This is one of those TikTok hacks. Huh. Battery and some water. Oh my god. You mean it is working? I doubt it is real. These things, I really doubt they work. How? How can this cannot work? Oh, so let's see. I knew this. I had a feeling this was not right. These things, I've tried them myself, several of these hacks, and the way they actually turn out, oh my god, is completely different from what I had seen in the video. And now it makes me wonder why people would mislead others that way, man. Oh my god. Like now that one you would have thought it's real, but it's an edited video. Oh, has it ever happened to you that you tried one of these things and you did something bad? Or what were the results? Please share in the comments section.
Shit! Ma! Ma, come outside! There's a fucking moose! Or a buffalo or some shit they're fighting! Where the fuck are you going? Ma! Holy shit! This is some fucking National Geographic shit! Ma, call a fucking cop to the ASPCA! There's animals fighting in the front lawn!
Hey folks, I'm redoing the video on stinging nettle. Yes, I am, because although it was taken down for community violations, because some keyboard warrior out there clicked misinformation and sent it out, I would recommend that you actually Google it for yourselves, and you will find that every single thing that I mentioned in this video or that I mentioned in the previous video is absolutely 100% true. So why is stinging nettle for me the biggest threat to Big Pharma? And perhaps that's why the video got taken down, because stinging nettle is one of those plants that has so many benefits that you would actually be amazed. So stinging nettle is a blood cleanser. It is a blood purifier. It helps to balance out the amount of red blood cells, white blood cells, platelets, and even the plasma. My dad had a surgery many years ago, and his blood platelet count was extremely low. Doctors gave him medication and said, you've got 3 months to live. If the medication works, then you're okay. Otherwise, well, sorry. So my dad didn't take any of the medication. He actually drank stinging nettle tea. And with that, his blood platelet count normalized. So after 3 months, he went to the doctor, and the doctor said, well, the medication worked. He said, no, it didn't. I didn't use it. And they said, well, what did you use? I used stinging nettle, because that's what my daughter said, and that's what I did. So yes, that worked for us, and you can have a look at the literature on Google. It is your friend. Secondly, stinging nettle has the ability to make your body produce new brain cells, particularly where brain cells have died off for whatever reason, natural or otherwise. And perhaps that's why my video got taken down. I wonder. So the stinging nettle can be taken as a tea, or it can be taken as a juice. You juice the stinging nettle and you can put it as part of your smoothies, the juice, or you can actually just drink the juice. 1 cup a day of stinging nettle tea is an excellent blood cleanser, blood balancer, brain cell producer, autophagy producer. So it helps your body to scavenge out those cells that are not working properly and destroy them so as to produce cells that actually do function efficiently. Stinging nettle helps to balance out the biome in the gut. How does it do that? Well, stinging nettle stings. Obviously it does. It stings because it sends fine little hairs into your body, and those little fine little hairs are coated in formic acid. Formic acid is the same kind of acid that you get from ant bites. The more the ant bite stings, the more formic acid they have in them. Formic acid is now used for things like tanning leather. Now, formic acid is obviously an acid, but the juice of the stinging nettle is quite highly alkaline, 6.5 to 7. It is an alkaline liquid. So if you ever do get stung by stinging nettle, it is the juice of the stinging nettle that removes the sting. It cancels out that sting. Do keep kids away from stinging nettle. It grows very wild. It can grow very big, and it can actually take over properties, but it is one of the most wonderful herbs. We've covered the brain, we've covered the circulation, we've covered the gut. It's going to help to balance the pH in your gut, meaning that your good bacteria is going to thrive and the bad bacteria is going to struggle to survive. So stinging nettle is really a good one, a stinging nettle juice. Now, can you eat the leaves? Yes, you can eat the young leaves of the stinging nettle. Ideally steam them so that you don't have those little spokes spiking your tongue. But yes, stinging nettle is wonderful. Stinging nettle is also great for piles. Hemorrhoids. Yes, if you suffer from hemorrhoids, you can either drink the juice of the stinging nettle, drink the tea of a stinging nettle, or you can have a little sitz bath where you sit your patukas down in the water and allow the stinging nettle water to get up the back passage, thus shrinking the piles. Now, because it also helps to balance hormones, whether you drink it as a tea or whether you drink it as a juice, it is a great one if you have fibroids or you're just trying to keep your hormones a little bit balanced, always in line with your medical doctors. I always say this, and yet the videos get taken down. So always work with your medical practitioners and let this be a supplement to what you are taking until and unless you're wanting to replace your allopathic remedies with natural ones when you are good and ready. So it does help to reduce the size of fibroids, and it does help to balance out your cycle. So if you have fibroids and you're already taking yarrow tea and you're already doing the castor oil compress, stinging nettle juice or stinging nettle tea is a good one to add to your natural health regimen to help to boost the healing effects in the womb and to reduce the size of fibroids. Eyesight. So drinking stinging nettle tea or having the juice is actually great for your eyes. You won't be applying it on your eyes, okay? What it actually does, it reduces any edemas that you may have in your eyes. It is quite high in lutein and in carotene, so it's very good for your eyesight, and it works specifically in the cornea of your eyes. So it's a great one to have. Wonderful thing to have, right? Along with aloe vera for the cornea of your eyes, or if you're using castor oil for cataracts, right? You could put the castor oil on your eye for cataracts. But stinging nettle is a great one drunk as a tea or as a juice. How do you drink the juice? Well, you would drink a glass a day. Maximum is absolutely enough. and you could have that every day and it's not going to hurt you or harm you in any way. However, stinging nettle can lower your blood pressure, so if you have very low blood pressure, it is one to watch out for from that perspective. So these are the kinds of things that we want to know and remember about our plants. Stinging nettle is great for the skin, and so it is used in some skin preparations, but of course it needs to be prepared, and they use either the juice or a decoction, which is a long time infusion of the stinging nettle, to add that to preparations, be it for the hair, be it for the skin. So these are the kinds of things that I think should not die. This is the kind of information that people need to know. It may be the only thing we can turn to in times to come, because as the world is going more and more digital and we are becoming more and more kind of separated from one another, these traditions and these areas of knowledge die out unless people go out searching for them, and people are not out there searching for this kind of information except for the very few. So if you're part of the very few and you're not following me on lifecoach_Rabia_alt, please go ahead and follow me on that alternative account in case this one gets taken down. Have a great day now.
Today we have some...
That video that has passed is very interesting. English people, I read you did not know about those stinging nettle and those things of herb. You know, here we use them for remedy for many things. Diarrhea, headache, erectile dysfunction. Well, we have remedy for all those things using herbs. You can come and learn a few things here. I was also surprised by the other guy calling the animal from the cat family a buffalo. You mean you also don't know animals? Here we live with them. Like that one now, my friend here keeps it as a pet. You should come and explore here too. Let's keep watching, and lots of love.
Today we have some scandal for you. There is a small local level scandal going on in Australia, and it's making national news, but not for the reason we might expect. It's hitting the news because of China. New South Wales, a state of Australia, has an independent commission against corruption, ICAC. It's been very busy recently because there seems to have been a lot of corruption in New South Wales. Just a few months ago, the former Premier Gladys Berejiklian became a victim, in her words, of it, and stood aside after it was declared that she and her lover, also a member of Parliament, were guilty of corruption, but they don't or haven't faced charges. Now, a former mayor who no one has ever heard of, Philip Sansom, from a suburb that few people outside of the city of Sydney have ever heard of, Hurstville, is in the national newspapers and TV because he took a trip to China. Not just him, but two other councillors. Strangely though, they didn't know that accepting a flight paid for by a businessman who had lodged planning application for a large centre in their area was the wrong thing to do. Former Mayor Sansom even took his wife along for a trip, but was still caught on camera by his host, being entertained by someone who looks decidedly unlike his wife. She seems a lot prettier, a lot younger, much more Asian than Mrs. Sansom. It appears, at least in Hurstville, that getting flights, accommodation, meal, having a Rolls-Royce car to ferry them around, and receiving approximately $170,000 in cash each was normal behavior because Sansom has expressed surprise that his action is considered corrupt. It gets much more exciting and James Bond-esque when we learn that the mayor and one of the councillors were recorded on video and in photos holding hands, sharing single seats, and generally having fun with some nice Chinese girls who were only there to keep them company. Still, the former mayor is quoted in media as saying he had no idea this was considered corrupt. He thought it was part of doing business in China. Except they weren't doing business in China. They were, by their own admission, on a boys' weekend in China, but the business was all in Hurstville. What's really got Australia's mainstream media in such a frenzy is not that these elderly, greedy, elected representatives of their local community were foolish enough to believe this kind of behaviour is acceptable and normal. Perhaps it is in Hurstville, I don't know.
Scott Morrison, Australia's former PM, is from the same area, and look at him. That's not the frenzy material. It's that it happened in China, and apparently the man making some of the payments is Chinese. Except he's not. According to the transcripts of the ICAC hearing, which I have read, Ching Hua Philip Yu, or Oi, which every Chinese watcher will know from its spelling is not a Mandarin name, is a 40-year resident of Australia who hails from the colony of Hong Kong. Also, a Twitter post recently from a certain anti-China Swede stated, "This happens all the time with Chinese officials, except here's the truth. The property developers may very well be Chinese ethnicity, but they're long-term residents running Australian businesses, Australian community, in the Australian community, and entertaining Australian community leaders." But they happen to commit all these alleged offences while on a boys' weekend to the wrong country. Hurstville has a local newspaper. It's called the St George and Sutherland Shire Leader, and is one of the few independent media outlets left in Australia. So, unsurprisingly, their headline states, "Watchdog finds 3 former state councillors corrupt." And you actually have to read the article to learn that there's any Chinese connection at all. Had these 3 councillors been taken to any place in Australia or the world other than China, the St George and Sutherland Shire Leader may very well have been the only newspaper to have carried this report. Unfortunately for them, they decided to be sleazy sexpats in China, and because China is bad, they've found their faces on the front pages of all of Australia's mainstream media and even beamed out of the TV during the evening news. As a side note to the entire debacle, one thing missed in the whole media frenzy is that the company funding all the trips and developing the real estate in Hurstville, GR Capital Group, entered liquidation in 2018, so they're probably not going to face corruption charges. So there's nothing really interesting about this story except that a few corrupt Australians now face some time behind bars. Although these 3 councillors got to spend a weekend in Tangshan in Hebei, not that far from Beijing, that's the only bit of spice in the story. I really hope for them it was all worth it.